Man, they're about to land and there's still about 30 minutes left in this film. Hey everybody, how's it going out there? Welcome to Movies and Music with AJ. My name's AJ. Thanks for watching. And we're back today with another movie reaction. We're going to be watching Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which came out in 1977, and that of course was written and directed by Steven Spielberg. And I had a lot of fun with the last Spielberg film that I reacted to on this channel, which of course was Jaws. In the intro to that video, I talked about how going to see Jurassic Park as a kid was one of my first movie-going experiences and how formative that was, how it set me down the path of being a lifelong movie lover. But I think I went on talking about Jurassic Park for so long that I didn't actually get into any of Spielberg's other films that I have seen, so I wanted to just do that real quick. So yeah, I'm looking at his filmography and it occurs to me that I've only watched about half of his films, if that, maybe only even a third. So going in chronological order of his films that I have watched, there's Jaws, obviously. Go watch that reaction if you haven't yet. And then Raiders of the Lost Ark, the first Indiana Jones film. Next film I watched is E.T., which that one I actually only watched for the first time back in 2019, and I actually got to go see that in the theater, which was a really fun experience. But then yeah, after that, there's a almost 9-year gap in terms of Spielberg films that I've watched, because it goes from E.T. from 1982 all the way to Hook in 1991. That's one of those childhood classics that I watched a bunch as a kid. And then of course there's Jurassic Park. After that, the next one I've seen is the sequel, The Lost World Jurassic Park, which I don't know why they didn't just call it Jurassic Park The Lost World. Like, why invert the title like that? That was always just kind of weird. I mean, my guess is they were just paying homage to the original film titled The Lost World, is that old black and white film, but still kind of a confusing choice to name it that way for a Jurassic Park sequel. After that, there's Saving Private Ryan. That's an all-time classic for sure. And then I've watched AI, Artificial Intelligence, Minority Report, War of the Worlds. Yeah, Spielberg went on a real sci-fi kick around the turn of the millennium, didn't he? But then after that, I think that might have been the most recent Spielberg film I've watched. Yeah, War of the Worlds, 2005. That was the last Spielberg film that I watched. So yeah, lots of potential future reaction material right there for sure. But let's go ahead and talk about the film that we are here to watch today, and that of course is Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And it is kind of cool that this is his follow-up film to Jaws. Jaws was 75, this came out in 77, so it'll be nice from a reaction point of view just to get to see the continuity of his filmmaking and how it carried over and, you know, how he got to evolve as a filmmaker. He also brings back Richard Dreyfuss, who was great in Jaws, one of my favorite characters in that film. And also just looking at the cast list here, the real curveball is that it also stars Francois Truffaut, who I know as a film director. I didn't realize he also acted, certainly not in other people's films or in Hollywood films. Yeah, I gotta say, Truffaut's film, The 400 Blows, as far as French New Wave cinema goes, I think that might be my favorite film of that genre. So yeah, interesting cast, interesting premise. I do know that this is an alien invasion film or an alien contact film at the very least. So yeah, I'm really excited to watch this film. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and watch the movie. Without further ado, this is gonna be my reaction to Close Encounters of the Third Kind from 1977. The director's cut. Let's go. Straight up silence right off the bat with this movie. Okay, there we go. Now we're getting some sound. I wonder if the film just started in total silence to sort of imitate or hint at the void of outer space. You know how outer space is just supposed to be just, you know, pitch quiet because it's a vacuum. Sort of reminds me of the overture for 2001. Sonora Desert, Mexico.
Are we the first to arrive here?
No se vayan, don't go.
I'm a map maker.
Can you translate French into English and English into French?
Yes.
It's Monsieur Laughlin?
Laughlin, oui.
Oh, Laughlin, pardon. They're all there! All of them!
Mr. Lacombe wants the numbers off the ends in black.
One thing Spielberg does really well is just create a real sense of like frantic energy. And it really puts you in that mood and that energy yourself. I'm over here like, yeah, get the numbers. You know, what are we doing here? Let's go.
These planes were reported missing in 1945.
Whoa, that's why they wanted the numbers.
Where's the crew? Hey!
I know this is an alien movie, but if I didn't know anything and I just heard this, I would assume it's a Bermuda Triangle movie. Viejo, old man. It's kind of rude to just call someone viejo, unless you know them, and you're saying it kind of in a joking, affectionate way.
El sol salió anoche y me cantó.
He says the sun came up last night. He says it sang to him.
Il dit que le soleil était venu ici hier soir et qu'il chantait pour lui.
Hier soir, last night. I'm picking up about half the words they're saying in French. Thank you, Duolingo.
Aries 31, Roger. I have a primary target about that position now.
1 o'clock now, still above me and descending.
Can you say aircraft type?
Negative, center. No distinct outline.
This pilot sounds very nonchalant about the whole thing, considering he's seen a UFO right now.
I've never seen anything like that.
About an SR-71.
The traffic is proceeding north eastbound, no altitude readout.
Wait a second. Stand by 1. Aries 31, the traffic is turned. He's heading right for my windshield. The traffic is approaching head-on, ultra bright, and really moving. They're right by us right now.
Sounds like they're playing a game of chicken with a UFO.
EWA 517, do you want to report a UFO? Over.
Negative. We don't want to report. Negative, we want to report one of those either.
Aries 31.
I wouldn't know what kind of report to file, Senator.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's one of those, not quite peer pressure, but more just like you don't want to be the person that crosses that line and says that you saw something unbelievable, because then people are going to question you and maybe look at you funny. Like, these people don't want to step out of line. They don't want to potentially ostracize themselves.
Of the shape of a square.
This kid's got a lot of creepy toys. That kid didn't go to Boston University. UFO did that too? Oh, creepy. He seems kind of excited about the whole thing. Uh-oh.
Barry!
That's a cool shot.
Barry!
Barreled, what are you doing out there? Get back over here. What is Barry short for? I was just having this conversation with my wife yesterday, literally yesterday. We're trying to figure out what Barry's short for. Is it Bartholomew?
That's why I graduated, so I don't have to do problems. This boxcar is 60 feet long, and 1/3 of it is across this switch here. Now, how far do you have to move this boxcar off the track so that the other train doesn't smash it? Brad, any answer?
Honey? Honey? And you also promised Goofy Golf.
Oh, yeah.
What is that kid doing even? Oh, jeez.
Boy.
This family is just all out of sorts.
What is this?
Hey, you know who's playing in town? Pinocchio.
I don't want to
Kids
remember.
have never seen Pinocchio.
I like how no one's even stopping this kid. They're just... Apparently this is just what he does. It doesn't even register for the rest of the family anymore.
I'm wrong, Roy, all right? Tell me you are close to death! Come out here!
That was a good payoff for how long they were ignoring him.
Jiminy Cricket. It's Earl on the phone.
We're losing power across the grid. Has the outage hit you yet? Barry?
Just now, just at this very moment.
Cornbread Road, south of 20.
Cornbread?
Sodium vapor streetlight. That Delano call.
You're in the middle of the road, jackass!
Turkey!
1047.
So meaningless so far. Okay, come on. All right, let's see. 10.
That was just an amazing sight gag. Spielberg has a sense of humor in his work, but he's just so clever and creative about it, and it's so dry. That looks pretty awesome. Is there just some kind of just real intense magnetism from the ship? Is that what causes all this? So yeah, like, what do you even do at that point? That was a pretty close encounter. Oh, come on. This kid made it far. I think he's just running back to Boston University.
I'm sorry. I didn't even see him. He was just standing right in the middle of the road.
Oh, this lady looks familiar. I think she was in the movie Magnolia. That's one of my all-time favorite movies. Oh, there's multiples. Oh yeah, there's quite a bit. A little guy too. I'm liking the light and color. It's just a really cool quality. Yeah.
Look at those suckers, they're glued to the road!
Check 345.
Whoa.
Honey, Ronnie,
That was pretty cool.
Wake up, you're not gonna believe what I saw.
Spielberg is just so great at just creating a sense of awe and wonder. Like he did that in Jurassic Park masterfully.
Ronnie, I need you to see something with me. It's really important.
What about the kids?
What? Oh, the kids, I'll get the kids.
Don't you think I'm taking this really well? I remember when we used to come to places like this just to look at each other.
I was expecting to see a ship, but not that kind. Cotopaxi. That's the name of a Mars Volta song. Yeah, that's definitely the kind of article you cut out and keep.
Roy, I found this overnight tanning stuff and I...
What does this remind you of, Ronnie? I saw something last night that I can't explain.
I saw something last night I can't explain.
Crazy husband. At least that's her perspective.
Hello? Roy, you got fired. They didn't even want to talk to you.
Whoa. What's crazy about this shot is if you wanted to do this in 77, you had to have that many people out there. And you had to set up that shot. You had to get on that hill. Nowadays, it just would have been CGI and it just wouldn't have looked as realistic.
Hi.
Oh, hi, how are you? Hey, you came here too, huh?
Yes.
I'm sorry about what happened with the kid.
What's that?
I know this sounds crazy, but ever since yesterday, on the road, I've been seeing this shape. Damn it, I know this. I know what this is.
I mean, that just looks like a miniature of the Triceratops poop from Jurassic Park.
Trick or treat.
Come on, you gotta turn the other cheek, literally, so you can even out that burn.
There's still so much that we don't know.
How about where the signals originate?
This first number is a longitude.
Coordinates. He heard it too, huh? Now, how did they do that pre-CGI? Looks pretty good, though. Is he saying you can come and play now?
Come into the door.
Come into the door? Nope, I'm getting out of there. There's some angry appliances. They abducted him? What did they want that kid for? That was intense.
time travel, immortality, even Santa Claus.
Excuse me, sir. I didn't want to see this.
I sure wish I had. To tell you the truth, I don't know what you saw.
You can't fool us by agreeing with us.
We do not support them.
I wonder if this thing they're seeing, the shape, if it's a mountain that's somewhere in Wyoming, that's what those coordinates are about. These UFOs are looking for that mountain, maybe? Don't know what Little Barry has to do with it, though.
What kind of disease?
The Devil's Tower. I bet that's that little mountain shape that everyone's been drawing. The Devil's Mashpa Tower. This dude's just losing his mind. Doesn't look good from their side of the table. Wow. Your kid thinks you're crazy. And it breaks his heart. What I don't get is that obsessing over this shape and trying to recreate it isn't really going to get you closer to understanding. I just don't know what fixating on this shape actually accomplishes for him. This guy. I don't think they're going in this direction, but it'd be pretty dope if he himself is turning into an alien.
Roy?
Now what's he doing?
Roy, I'm sorry about last night. Oh, Roy!
Oh, jeez. Why? I did not think this was going to be a movie about a man slowly going insane.
Roy? You're scaring us now.
Don't be scared.
I mean, Richard Dreyfuss is the protagonist, and I feel like we, the audience, are supposed to be on his side for all of this, but this is all just kind of sad. Like that. That's just messed up. Like, why?
Honey, where are you going?
What?
Where are you going?
Taking the kids to my sister's.
You hold it 1 minute.
It's like one thing to be so moved by that experience that you want people to understand what you saw, but just the way he's just totally just tuned out his family and how just unreasonable and irrational he's behaving. You're destroying your own house, man, and totally just ignoring your family. I don't know how this character comes back from this in a way that makes me actually root for him.
At Devil's Tower, Wyoming, a train loaded with a dangerous chemical gas.
And now he's gonna see it on TV.
Anything
there it
you
is.
want, I'll do.
Monument erected in this country by Theodore Roosevelt.
Why aren't there any fat lines instead of these thin ones?
Yeah, this guy he like has all the impulses of things I don't like in people. Like distracted drivers to me are just so annoying.
What are we doing? Look, the only way we're gonna get back in there is to go across country.
No.
We gotta break through the fence.
Let's go.
All right, hold on.
He's faring better than that cop that drove right off the cliff, though.
What are those?
Look, I guarantee you, this whole thing is put on.
I feel fine. According to my birds, the only bad air around here is you guys farting around.
We need answers from you. They're honest, direct, and to the point.
N'avez-vous pas fait récemment une rencontre?
Have you recently had a close encounter? Close encounter with something very unusual. Who are you people?
That's what he wanted to hear.
But what did you expect to find?
An answer.
That's not crazy, is it?
Wanting an answer is not crazy, but the way he's been going about it is definitely batshit crazy. You don't want to abandon your family.
You see that notch in the corner of the mountain? We can make that one in no time.
Come 3 more! Come on, come on. Come on! Roy, come on, come on!
Okay, check the speaker system.
Speaker system. So they're going to play the series of tones, right?
Okay, watch the skies, please. We now show uncorrelated targets approaching from the north.
Looks pretty cool. Man, they're about to land, and there's still about 30 minutes left in this film. Turn around. I will say these effects are pretty cool. I just love that light. Like, it just really makes you feel how bright that would be. And it's interesting how warm it is, the light. You tend to think of sci-fi lighting as very cold and blue, but it's just so orange and warm, almost like fire.
Second. Up a full tone.
Me to the third.
Down a major third.
I will say one thing that's pretty brilliant that I'm really digging about this movie is how humanity is communicating with extraterrestrial life via music. One of my best friends growing up as a kid told me that he didn't like music. We're not friends anymore. I mean, that's not the reason why. Like, I moved out of town, he moved out of town. But I tell you what, if one of the things that bonded us was a love of music, and if we loved the same bands, that probably would have been enough to keep us connected through moving out of town. Oh, that's cool.
Plus vite, plus vite.
Plus vite, faster. Plus vite. Is it the band Boston that has that iconic album cover that's like a spaceship and it kind of looks like that in terms of the lighting and color? That's an album reaction I should do. I've never listened to any Boston. That was pretty cool.
Not Merle Haggard, but it was great.
Did he say his name's Merle Haggard? The Okie from Muskogee? Oh, they're back. What if their like whole message was play these tones if you want us to destroy you? And we're like, they're playing pretty music, let's play it back for them. Dun, 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 dun. This doesn't feel friendly. That is a close encounter indeed. Whoa. That's impressive. Like, this is the feeling I had being in the movie theater as a kid watching Independence Day. How much awe that inspired in me watching that as a kid. I'm getting like the same feeling just watching this unfold. That's such a Spielberg thing, right? Guy gets panicked and runs into a toilet. That spaceship just farted. There's such a like quaint, dainty little tune for it to be the alien communication theme song. Apparently they got tubas aboard that spaceship. I love how this movie just became a musical. An alien musical.
We have a translation airlock on their audio signal.
I love how that kinda hints at the Jaws theme song. Da-da, 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 da-da. Oh, we're gonna see him. I wasn't sure. Those look human. Those are humans. Are these previously abducted humans? Yeah, that looks like a soldier, like a World War II soldier.
Lieutenant, welcome home. This way to debriefing. They haven't even aged. Einstein was right.
Einstein was probably one of them.
Wow. Hey, there he is. What's up, Barry?
What do you want? I just want to know that it's really happening.
I envy you.
Is he gonna go on the ship? Oh! Creepy! That's just nightmare fuel. Wow, so the last 30 minutes of that movie was worth the price of admission alone, you know? That was just a treat for the senses, you know, visually, but then also the audio, just the music. I didn't realize we were going to get an orchestral performance at the end of this movie from a gigantic UFO, no less. But visually, too, it just looked amazing. The spacecrafts and just the use of light and color. You know, so much of the time, I feel like UFOs and alien technology in film and TV is portrayed as just kind of gray and metallic and cold and lifeless. Very, you know, almost medical or surgical. But it was just such a brilliant decision to just go in the opposite direction and just make it a spectacle of color and light. And I did see in the credits that the special effects were done by Douglas Trumbull, who did the special effects for 2001: A Space Odyssey. That is one of my all-time favorite movies. Yeah, I've seen 2001 on the big screen 5 times in the last 3 years alone. Yeah, Trumbull knocked it out of the park in 2001. And here his style has evolved. The effects look, I would say, pretty different from 2001, but they still work and they're still great and they fit the movie really well. And yeah, Spielberg as a filmmaker, you know, I just don't know that there are many other directors who are as on their game as he is when it comes to portraying human interactions. You know, so few directors do this, but I feel like Spielberg's a master of this, of just like the crosstalk, where you got multiple people in a room and multiple conversations happening or people talking over each other. And that happens so often in real life, especially in these kind of settings, these really busy settings, you know, whether it's the home of a family of 5 or if it's a air traffic control tower, you know, there's going to be crosstalk, there's going to be noise, it's going to be a little chaotic. And I feel like so many movies go out of their way to really just have a sparse sort of background. And, you know, and it makes sense because, you know, if you're doing exposition, if, you know, you're having a moment between 2 characters, you want what they're saying to each other to come through. You don't want it muddied up, or you don't want it to kind of get lost in a cacophony of sound. But the thing is, the way Spielberg does it, you still pick up on what you're supposed to hear. You still somehow know who you're supposed to be listening to. But having all the surrounding noise and crosstalk just adds to the immersion and the realism. It really puts you there. It feels true to life. Yeah, he did that really well in Jaws, and again, he does it really well here. So I really appreciate that about his filmmaking style. As far as what I didn't appreciate about this movie, and it's not even about not appreciating it, it's more just that, like, I feel like Spielberg does such a good job with protagonists, usually, and really, he's really good at making you want to root for the main character. And in this film, I couldn't find myself rooting for the main character. You know, there didn't really seem to be that good of a setup of, A, why he would make this journey, and then B, decide to get on the spaceship. Like, this dude had a family, he had a wife and kids, and maybe I missed it, but I didn't get any sense in the beginning that he had any reason to want to leave them. They didn't make him seem like he was unhappy or unfulfilled. He seemed to have a pretty good family life. He seemed to really love his wife and kids. You know, usually you'd want there to be some sense of like the character feels unfulfilled or there's some sort of tension in the household. You'd want to set up some sort of reason to make it believable why this guy would want to leave his family. And maybe the thinking is that because he had such an idyllic home life that it really underscores just how impactful that alien encounter was for him, that he was willing to just abandon his family, you know, do a 180 and just, you know, just throw his whole life away to go get on an alien spaceship. I kind of get that, but at the same time, it's like, that doesn't make me want to root for the guy, you know? Like, especially middle of the movie when he was just being so crazy and just like, you could not get through to him. He was just so focused on this thing that everything around him just kind of, you know, fell to the background. I couldn't relate to that. You know, I couldn't relate to him. You know, it didn't make him likable. And I'm not somebody who needs to like a protagonist necessarily. I just have to kind of understand where they're coming from. And I don't know. It was just something frustrating about the way his arc was portrayed. It's just, I couldn't buy into it necessarily. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I just misreading it? Like, what are your thoughts on the main character? I loved everything else about the movie. Everything around the movie I absolutely loved. It's just the main character. I couldn't really, you know, root for him. But that didn't ruin the movie for me because overall it was just spectacular. Like I said, a visual and audio treat. Yeah, those last 30 minutes, they're going to stay with me for a while. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you want to follow along with more of my reactions, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. Signing out for today, this has been Movies and Music with AJ. My name's AJ. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.